Hello and welcome to another exclusive interview right here on Blueprint Africa TV. My name is Odera Collins, and with me here today is Toda. Toda is the co-founder of Task, and I'm sure you're wondering what Task is. Well, Task is a creative company that solely focuses on connecting creatives with opportunities. And you understand that how the creative industry is not very structured, this is something that we need. So we're going to be speaking with Toda today to, find out all the amazing things that she's doing over there at Task. Hi, Toda, how are you?
Hi, Odera.
How
I'm
are you
great,
doing?
great. I'm great. How are you?
I'm well. I'm really well. I like the fact that you're so dark skinned like me.
I love it.
I love it when I meet ladies like me.
It's my favorite part of my body, my skin tone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Brown skin girl.
Yeah. Melanin popping. The true melanin
Exactly.
popping people.
O'Shea, baddest. Okay, so Toda, tell me, right? It's a lot. You do a lot of things, but let's break it down. Who is Toda? I'd like to hear what your name means, actually.
Okay. So my full name is Todalael Kafang, and Todalael is a Hebrew word for give thanks to God or give praise to God. Yes, my father named me so, and he's also like a professor in the Old Testament and teaches like classical Hebrew. So, while he was learning, I was born, and history. Here I exist today. I'm a creative. I am a manager of talents. I am a strategist for talents. I co-own a creative company that basically tries to help creatives. And I kind of help with operations and project management and executing on projects for creatives.
Oh, that's fantastic. So the whole 9 yards of what you do is creatives.
Yes.
So you manage and also make sure that, they get balance in the industry.
Yes.
So tell us about your time in the music industry and what pushed you into that, because you were with Loopy before they merged with Chocolate City. Tell us about that.
When I finished serving, I served in Ondo State, studied mass communication. My goal was to work in entertainment. I didn't know what or how or when, but I knew I wanted to be in entertainment. So I'd kind of like, even before I served, I'd worked at like a radio station, TV station, and I was like, this is not for me. Like, I worked on like a news thing where you would kill yourself all day for 30 seconds of a byline. Nah. I was like, this is not for me.
This is not you.
This is not for me. The one time they sent me to go and cover a burial, I was like, nope. It's not entertaining. But in 2011, I finished service and I was in Abuja. I'd spent 6 months going for interviews. You go to like insurance companies, they're looking for marketers, they want to pay you on commission. Just, stress. But I didn't like any of the things. And my brother was like, oh, come and visit me in Lagos, and my brother was in a rock band at the time. And yeah, I don't think there's any other rock band that existed or has existed. Okay, there are
what
a
was
few.
The name of the band?
Called Threadstone.
Threadstone.
Yes, they were a rock band. Got a bunch of guys from all over Nigeria, but they started out in Jos and they had toured all over Nigeria, and MI had kind of signed them. And I go to visit my brother in Lagos, and I meet MI. Now, of course, I've known him for years because I grew up in Jos, but he was like, he's looking for a PA. I was like, I have nothing to do anyway. And all the jobs I really wanted, they kept telling me I needed 3 years work experience. So I had a goal. I was going to get like 3 years work experience. That was my goal. And when I got into the industry, I didn't know. He was like, do I know what an A&R is? I was like, no, I don't know what an A&R is. Like, he's like, you like music a lot. I was like, yeah, I like music. And I was like, yeah, artists need to do this, need to do that. I always have all these ideas. And he's like, you could be an A&R. And I was like, me? I don't know what it is. My brother gave me a book, and then he says I should go and research about it. So I researched about it. I was like, oh, I can do this. An A&R is an artist and repertoire. And what that person does is, depending on what level of talent you're working with, you're either finding talent or developing talent, or you're helping strategize for talent. Right? So it's the person that is like the business development for creative. That will literally look at a creative and say, this is how we're going to help you grow your brand to become this product that sells a lot of money. So you listen to the music, you look at the clothes they wear, how they perform, and you give a lot of suggestions. So I did that for like 5 years. While I was looping music, that was literally what I was doing. I was the A&R for all the artists that were on the label, and which is where I learned a lot, because I'd worked with the rapper, I worked with DJ, worked with the pop artists, I worked with the alternative artists. And then in 2014 or 15, um, I think Audu was kind of like done being CEO and wanted to kind of give it up. And he asked studios like, well, looping music had started popping in the industry then. Like we had spent our time, we'd done our time, we built built everything. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 years actually, but we built everything. And then he was just like, why don't we merge companies? And so at this point, I'm now head A&R. So I now become the head A&R for Chocolate City Music. And part of the merging was with staff and, everything. Yeah. So I worked with Chocolate City to 2019, which at that point, I was like 9-10 years in the game or so. And I was just like, I've done enough. Like, I have enough experience, right? The thing is that for an A&R in Nigeria, there's not a great trend because it's not a job that you can go to school for. There's not a great laid out plan for how you can build your career in it. So you have to grow in other ways, right? So you have to either focus on promotions or management or other things that if you want to make more money, because you can't really, what salary, they're going to keep increasing your salary. What is the metric,
Metric for you too.
But internationally, there's like a lot of things that are put in place for A&Rs. They get points, they get like percentages off of songs that they've worked on albums, so they can make money long-term from like there. But it doesn't exist in Nigeria. So I knew that at that point, I was like, if I have up to 9-10 years of experience, I need to start focusing on what I'm going to build for myself. One of the best parts of working with artists that I loved was content creation. So I love like the documentaries, the music videos, having to do photo shoots, and I learned a lot from like creative direction and styling and makeup, and like I love the like full 9 yards of it. I could be on a set all day, every day.
And not get exhausted.
Yeah, I don't usually get exhausted. I love like set work, like anything that has to do with creating content. I'm not of course, I'm just a regular person. I'm not great at everything, but I can have a vision. I can say this is what is missing, and all of that kind of stuff. And
you just feel it.
I wanted to quit to start a company to do that. And then Jude was like, why don't we start a company? You want to work with like around content. I want to work with talent. Another partner of ours wanted to start an agency for talent, and another one wanted to focus on like the CSR parts. So the stories part is really what the S in task is for stories, which is really content. The community for task, which is the C. Is around the CSR.
Oh, wow. That's very
yeah. And kinetics is for innovation, because what is anything you're building today without thinking about innovation? So anything that from tech that needs to be built for the industry or partnerships. So kinetics, which is the K.
The creation.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's
so
really
here we
fantastic.
are today, Task.
So
3 years in.
I wanted to ask how the task came about, but here you are, you've answered my question. Yeah. So I'm just going to take you back to the A&R part, because it got me there. Right now, the industry is opening up rapidly. Yeah. And people are not knowing that, I can actually do this in the entertainment industry. I don't just have to go and sing behind the mic or go and act. So what do you need to have? I like to call it the starter pack. So what do you think what would you say from your wealth of experience is the starter pack to A&R?
The honest truth is that you just have to have a passion for something in the music business for you to be an A&R. Okay. Like, I always tell people that I don't think I'm even the greatest A&R for a pop artist, because, mentally, by the time you're like 25, you've already decided the sounds you like. And so the era for pop music in my era is alternative music. The artists that were pop artists in my era that when I was growing up were alternative artists. So I have more ideas for people around that sound. Okay. But the key thing is I know what to look out for, right? So I had an interest in music. I understand. I watch a lot of documentaries. I like music business, the strategy. When you sit down and you have to plan a rollout for an album or a song, you're sitting down and you're saying, what is the content I need to create? How much media and press do I need for this thing? What activities do I need to do to draw attention and create awareness? And it's the craziest things that people come up with. Some of it is like super amazing. What do you need to do to get your song played on radio? Let me give you a strategy that Lauryn Hill had. So she was, not Lauryn Hill, Mary J. Blige. She wasn't getting airplay in New York or something. And she told the person that deals the radio distributions, give me the phone number to all the request shows that are on the radio. She sat down. At what time? She sat down and she called all the stations at the request show and was like, hi, this is Mary J. Blige. You're not playing my radio. So now she gets an interview for free. And she gets us because now they have to play the song, so she's now requesting it on the request show. And so her song is now plugged.
So she's beating them
Strategy.
at their own game. Wow.
Like you would have paid somebody millions to distribute your content, but you could literally create a list because every radio station has a request show, and you could have that artist call in on request shows and request their music.
Wow. Smart.
Just strategy, right? Like
we need to up that. That's some Sabinus moves. Like, if I just call all this radio station.
No, but and that's the kind of stuff I like. I like thinking about like what can we do? What do we need to how do we penetrate this market? Like what are the things? Is it small shows? Is it
and
more
that's the
video?
recipe for growth. Always looking for room of possibilities, basically. So what are we doing? What can we do better? How can we go about it?
With most A&R, just because you asked the question of like what you need to do, not every A&R has the same strength. Some people have recording strength. Some people have strategy strength. Okay. So you need to figure out what that strength is by, you try things, you give suggestions in meetings, the sound or the music, and you see what works when you're working with artists. When you figure that thing out, you build on. You can spend time working on the rest, but you build on that, and people start to know that when you listen to a song, you can tell if the song is going to work or not.
Fantastic. Tell us about Task, the work that you guys have been doing. We'd like to know about it, content creation, the whole 9 years of storytelling. How has that been?
So we've done multiple things. We've actually evolved in the past year. When we started out, we wanted to do all things at the same time. And we decided at some point that we needed to put our best foot forward. And we realized we actually wanted to focus on the agency work. But the agency work, you're a small fish in a big pond. True. 20,000 agencies trying to bid for the same jobs, and we were like, well, we can come from the creative industry. We can literally kind of connect people to a lot of these things. But a lot of, when you're dealing with business, the business have their KPIs. There's so many things that go in line with that. Mm-hmm. But for us, I think the turning point was when we started working in the call space. We just kind of went and were like, what are your problems? And we started to realize that they did want to work with creatives. They didn't know how. Because the idea of a celebrity that is a skip maker or influencer is so far from them that they're like, they're going to charge us this. You haven't thought whether the person cares so much about corruption in Nigeria that they would be like, I will do this for free. Or can we do this long term? So we got into connecting a lot of the CSOs we were working with a lot of the creatives we were working with, and saying, why don't you work with this person? This person cares about domestic violence, has a platform. You have funding, and you want to pass a message to a lot of young people around domestic violence. Why not work together? So we're doing, the truth is the easiest way to describe it is better matching. Just connecting people to the opportunities that seem fit with their artist, the creative's brand, or the comedian, or whatever, or the CSO, whichever worked best. And then we would kind of negotiate and defend the creative. It's very important for us because people take advantage. People know the creative industry is not structured. So we try to, as much as possible, say, no. You have to realize what this person is giving up to be a part of your project. Because when you post a lot of social impact work on social media, the algorithm is against you. So you now don't get seen a lot, and then you now lose followers because people are not seeing your content consistently. And so what happens to this person? How does this person not feel like I'm losing something by working on this cause, And there are a few things. It's one, pay for the things that keep them in their brand. So don't tell me to do a free post and then I have to just use my phone to do it. Whereas all my fans have seen so far has been curated content. Mm-hmm. I wear makeup, I wear outfit, I use a great, pay for the things that make so that the content doesn't look so far from what is my own. And then let me craft a message in a way to my fan base that doesn't reduce my following. People are like, they can see me as somebody that's a feminist or an activist or in that way, and it connects. And so it allows the person's brand to also grow. And if you can, pay them for their time as well, because what people don't realize is that everybody that works for CSO gets paid a salary to work there. Mm-hmm. So, which I've never understood why people don't think to pay creatives for doing the work.
We need to allow this.
It doesn't make sense.
Louder for the people in the back, please.
Why are they the ones that should give up their time for Nigeria or for the cause or whatever if you are paid? to do the same. It doesn't make sense. So it's a long journey. We're still in the beginning of solving a lot of those problems. We have a platform called Ignite, kind of like this platform, but our platform is focused on highlighting the social impact work creatives do. Because a lot of people do work, but nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows about it.
And so we're building a platform that literally communicates that. And then with monologues and different things, and they share their views on Nigeria and the vision they have for Nigeria as well. And to just use their impact that way. We also manage talent. So we try to find better deals. So MI's rollout right now is being handled by a team. All the content created, a lot of the music, the A&R has been handled by Task. Getting him to this point for this album that just came out. So that's something. We have an artist we've also kind of signed, but it's not really about us signing the artist. It's really about finding an opportunity for him. It's not really about Task. We can let him go. It's fine. It's really about what is the best opportunity for him as a great creative.
Wow. So tell me about, I like to hear arriving at this success definitely takes some level of challenge, failed attempts before we get the successes.
Yeah.
Can we hear all about that?
It's a lot. Like, they say that when you go into a partnership and you go into business, they don't really tell you how hard it is. They just like, it's tough. No, it's like getting into a marriage. Whatever decisions people make on that in the business affect your life in some way or the other. So you hope, which is why it's so important for you to know the people you can trust and be very clear about the terms of your relationship and engagement. I think for us, what has helped has been we've worked so long with each other that we can have hard conversations. We've learned how to have hard conversations. A lot of people are not comfortable having hard conversations. And we've learned how to have hard conversations around things that we're uncomfortable about, and things that we want, and things that are where you're not feeling valued. It's very important to consistently do that. And it's uncomfortable. You're going to cry sometimes. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to want to quit. But, at the end of the day, if you remember the common goal and you share that experience, you share with honesty what the thing is, you can always find a solution and keep moving forward. And I think that we're at a point right now that the work we're doing is bigger than us as a team. It's really, we're about to see how it impacts everybody else. It's really it's not worth us fighting over. For people not to be successful and achieve. So it is difficult. It's not easy. I will not tell you that every day. Salaries. Every month you have to pay salaries. Your heart will be beating. He said that payroll.
It runs so fast because I also deal with that salary department. So it's like we just paid, and then before you sleep, wake up.
Yep.
It's the end of the month again. We have to pay salary. So I definitely understand how tedious that is, right? But now I want to talk about briefly partnering to run. We're in the startup era, so there's a lot of partnerships here and there. People are collaborating for business ideas, innovative ideas, everything. What would you say is the recipe to a successful partnership?
I think that being very honest and clear about your strengths. So let's say now I'm not a good people's person. I should never be touching HR. I shouldn't do it because nobody else can do it. Let's find the person that can do it. Let's be very clear and very honest. If I'm great at dealing with people, then I should be able to do it, but being very honest about what our strengths are in the partnership. The way I can explain the reason why partnerships are actually very important is that if I have a finger like this, it's going to be easy for you to break my finger. But if I put my hand like this, for you to break this,
it's very, very difficult.
Very hard, right? But this thing has to come with a lot of communication. Oh my God. You cannot overemphasize it. Nigerians, we have a problem with communication. We don't give enough information. We are afraid to tell hard information.
There's a lot of
sensitivity around a lot of issues. We don't like to talk about a lot of things that could move this country forward as a whole. So there's not a lot of partnership in Nigeria and the cultures because we don't talk, We don't talk about the things that really hurt a lot of us, and there's no way to move forward without having those conversations because what it does, it builds resentment. When you hear a company had just reached success and the company partners have broken up, it's because nobody was talking early. And so somebody got frustrated and just quit and destroys the whole thing.
Blows up. That's actually very true. Very
Keep
true.
talking.
Honesty and communication. Either way, so it's okay. right?
Sorosoke.
Is it Sorosoke or Sorosoke? Please, my Yoruba friends.
Me too. I have. I'm the
up.
worst. I'm the worst. Like,
Don't eat me up. So I'm bringing this home, right?
Yeah.
And it's because you're female.
Yeah.
Female in the creative sector, in the entertainment sector.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's hard. It's definitely hard when you're like the lower percent of an industry that is male dominated. The small structure that exists for their comfort.
Yeah.
So when you hear about things like women can't spend the whole night in the studio, it's because it's built around their comfort, right? You're not thinking about what she's gonna have to deal with in that situation. Is it safe for her to be there, or So she has to work 10 times harder as a woman. You have to prove your worth through excellence in work. You have to be excellent. You have to work 2 times harder than most men, because what men get away with, like,
you can't.
I'm an only girl.
Oh.
So I have all brothers. And I remember growing up, and my mother would wake up and just have a lot of expectations of me. Breakfast, cleaning this whole house, and then
There was just this weight.
And then sometimes my brother would just wake up and sweep, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, thank you." I'm like, I do this every day. Nobody thanks me,
And it's still the same thing out here.
Yeah. But I realized that I had to like prove my worth, even to my family, in a different way. I did a lot of things. I moved from Jos to Lagos. My dad was like, "They're gonna kill you in that town." I was like, I made a decision.
And I'm going to stick to it.
And now I think I have a different kind of respect because they've seen what I've been able to achieve on my own. But my brothers didn't have to prove that much to be acknowledged, if that makes sense, right? But that's the same thing with most being in the industry. Like the women that you see surviving in the entertainment creative industry, you have to give it to them. Like it doesn't help anybody tearing them down, because if you know what those people had to do to be as successful as they are, it's not worth the hate. Like these people are giving up time, ideas. Like just watch the difference between a female performance and a male performance. Woman will go and get dancers, outfits, creativity. This guy will come and be letting you sing his own song. Off key half the time. Like, you know what I mean?
And then everybody's like, ah!
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's crazy.
Female actors, what they've been through to run, like I love the film industry because I feel like there's a lot. It's moved a little bit further in terms of with women. It's a little bit easier because you can't shoot a movie without men and women, right? So they need them in the movie anyway.
Anyway,
but in the music industry, it's like I can sing a song without women, so you can hear a whole male's album, not heard one female
collaboration,
on it, not even one. Like, okay, but you're singing for women. Okay, cool. But it's been hard, but I've learned a lot through the process. And I feel like for me now, my perspective is excellence in work. And the women that have achieved this, I've seen them. And to me, it's people like, I was telling you earlier, Dora Kiwili, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Obi Ezekwesili, like they're just doing great work. You can't fault the kind of like the integrity, the commitment. Ngozi left Nigeria with all the corruption. They still called her back to where she was working because you know what, she knows what she's doing. You can't fault her expertise and her strategies and all of that kind of stuff. Like
experience, true.
And,
very, very true.
And for me, what I tell women a lot of times when they come into the industry, you come in and you're a little subservient, but you're like that because that's what they told you. But you have been raised a leader from day one. Let me tell you that when your mother was raising you, and she said, Odera, go to the market and go and buy this food. Here's the money. And you went and you managed the budget and you came back and said, here's the change. When your mother said, make sure that all these children were fed, and you sat down and you made sure everybody was fed, you managed your siblings when they're fighting. You know what that is? It's leadership.
It's leadership, actually very true.
You've been taught leadership before everybody else. So the qualities you really think, you already have them.
Another angle.
Empathy, kindness, fairness, accountability. You have it.
Reliability, and that's actually very true. That's very
Consistency. True. They have not eaten. We'll go and find a way to make them eat. Because that's what a leader would do, a CEO of a company. You are a leader. You
have to just find a way.
Yeah. So don't ever believe, like, the chances of you finding a woman that is prepared to be a leader is way high. It's crazy that there are not a lot of women leaders in Nigeria, that we've not accepted it, because we're ready for, women have been ready. We've been ready.
Great.
So in our company, Task has 70% women.
Fantastic, because I was about to go there. I was about to like ask. So, knowing how difficult it is for women to pivot through this industry, what measures are you taking? And how do you
intentionally
help? Exactly. How intentional are you with
we
the
intentionally
women?
hire women.
70% women. That's fantastic. Yeah. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Toda. It was nice having this chat with you. I'm sure we picked up one or two. I picked up a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Toda. And guys, that's it. Thank you for sticking out with us this time. I just had Toda, who is the co-founder of Task. So if you're a young creative out there and you're looking out for many opportunities, head over to Task. What are the social media handles that they can reach out to?
You can follow at This Is Task and Ignite Talks, yes, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all of that.
And what of your handles? Are you open to mentorship? If I know a lot of women. When I started out in the industry, one of the things I struggled with was finding women that could light the path for me. Let me put it that way.
Trust me, I am today because there's a lot of women that consistently give me advice, consistently pave a way for me. So as much as possible, I'm always open to working with women.
So how can they reach you if they want to?
They can follow me on Instagram, yes, ms_Kafang, KFANG.
ms_Kafang. Thank you so much. And it's Odera_Collins. Guys, it's still Blueprint Afrique TV. Don't forget to click subscribe. We have a lot of content coming up for you. Until next time when I come your way again, it's bye for now. Thank you.